David, and I'm here to tell you about a platform I wrote called Vireo. Vireo is here to help you with your online job search. We have a lot of things to juggle with this. We have our contacts, we have our companies, we have the roles that were applied to. We're trying to keep that all straight, follow-ups, etc. So Vireo is here to save the day. So let's take a look and see what Vireo does. When you first land on the Vireo site, you'll see there's a marketing site, right? It'll tell you a little bit about what's going on with Vireo and what it does and some fun definitions and things. But we're much more interested today in kind of jumping in to see how Vireo can help you as a job searcher really focus on things like interviewing, interview prep, etc. So let's jump on in. You'll see that we have our blank interface here. We don't have any data in the system, so we have some empty pages. We can explore these pages in a little more depth here once we get some data into it. But let's just jump in. Pretend like we are a job searcher, right? We're hunting for a job. And so we're going to do some various events within Vireo. I'm going to add my first event, and that's what Vireo is really based on, is adding events that reflect what has been happening with your job search, right? You apply to a role, you get pinged from a recruiter on LinkedIn or Indeed, you get an email, etc. So this is here, Vireo is here to help you sift through that data and hopefully make that a little easier. We get to our event screen here, right? We clicked add event from that main screen of different steps we're going to go through, and we're entering our data. Vireo is here to try to make this as frictionless as possible, so you can really focus on getting your data in and having it do things for you to help organize your job search. We have a whole string of categories here. We can have application types, communication types, etc. But this event is we've applied to a role, say in our fictitious scenario here. We're going to hit applied, all right? And Vireo has a whole bunch of shortcuts that we'll explore maybe later, maybe in another demo. And now it wants to know a little bit more context about what this is. Is there a company involved? Is there a role for that particular company? Is there a contact at that company? All these are optional. You don't have to really do any of these, but also it is helpful to do some things for Vireo so it can help you. I'm copying and pasting AI generated data for the demo. So we'll paste in this fictitious company here. These fields are all search or create. So it's searching the database, the local database on the browser for this company name, and it can't find the company name, so it's going to go ahead and create it for us when we save the event. The role as well as we want, because I'm terrible at spelling, so I'll just copy and paste that in from my spreadsheet. We have our new senior front-end developer role. And again, Vireo is very data aware of how things are put together. So if you have senior front-end engineer roles from multiple companies, Vireo will help you sift through that data as well, so it knows which role for which company you're talking about. So go ahead and click that there. Now there's more details, right? We have a direction of our data. Is this an inbound event? Is this an outbound event? Well, it's outbound because we went to a website, right? We'll say we went to a website and we applied to the role. Now for these dates, I want to use like fictitious dates, to say that we started this. And that's the cool thing about Vireo as well, is it'll allow you to enter in events that happened in the past in case you forgot to enter them when the event occurred. We have a nice summary field here that will auto-generate this for you. Let's say I have some extra details that I want to add to this as well. So I submitted the application to the company careers portal. Again, all optional. It's just there to help you, so Vireo can help you with your job search. I'm going to go to next, and now I can do some cool things with reminders, right? If this was based on today's date, right, I can create a follow-up. Now, the challenge with our demo today is that we can't put reminders in the past because that's not what Vireo was made of. So we'll go ahead and put this reminder just so that we can see the data, but we can realize that occurred a month ago for our demo purposes per se, so we can kind of see chronologically how things are happening. So these reminders may look a little goofy for this demo. Let's go ahead and create the event. Awesome. Now we have data in Vireo. If we go back to our home page, you can see that we have some reminders. Again, the dates are going to be a little goofy compared to the actual date of the event. We have a recent activity, things that are happening within the events that we've entered, and any of our active roles that we have. So we entered in a company with an active role, with a role, and Vireo has already tied those two things together for us in the background. And again, all of this data is on this local device. Vireo is free to use. It's open source. You can use it to have as much data as you want on the local device. We do have a cloud sync that's in beta, so if you're interested in that, you can give that a try as well. We're trying to limit the amount of traffic right now because we're just getting things started. Now that we have this event in place, right, I can explore a little bit more of the application. Now we have this pipeline view, and this is more of a kind of a Kanban view of what's happening with our roles. It's not too exciting yet. We just have one role that we've applied for, but we'll see as we continue with the demo and adding more data, we'll see that Kanban really flesh out. And also, the Kanban, it looks great on desktop as well. There's a lot of facility within mobile and within desktop views. So we'll check that out, either in this demo or in future demos. So there are our activity. So again, this was that page that we landed on as soon as we entered in the event. Vireo is very much about modifying data that you've entered. So there's a multitude of ways to edit the data that you just entered. You can edit things about the company. So let's say we go into the company and see the company details. Here it does have the one role. Here we can edit this company as well, and we can even add in maybe like a website. We'll use this because my auto entry, now we're going to have foo.com. I can update that guy, and now you can see that now we have a link that can go out to that company. Those will show up as well on different aspects of the page, so you can always kind of have that information with you in various parts of the app. And of course, you can look at your company's view and see it there, and also modify other aspects of the company. Let's say that our job hunt continues, right? We have a new event that came in. We have a job lead from another company. So there's multiple ways to do this still, right? There's this jump menu here that has different types of events, and you can always go to more and get back to that event page that we just entered in as well. And we can go home and we can have different options, some different options there. So I'll go ahead and I'll go to more here. Now this was a job lead, right? So I'm going to select job lead as the type. It highlights it up here for us. Go to next. What's this for? So this was for this time it's a company called Helix Forge Systems. This was a front-end engineer role that we want to enter in here. And again, right, there's a senior front-end engineer role, but that's for Nimbus Edge. We have this front-end engineer role for Heliofax, so we will want to go ahead and just let the system create that and tie that role to that company. Pretty cool, huh? If I go next, again, I can figure out this was an inbound, and as you can see, based on the event type, Vireo is attempting to help you along with your journey. So it's going to try to have smart defaults and things. Really tried its best to keep the data entry, like I said, as frictionless as possible. So it automatically assumes, since this was a job lead, this was an inbound event. So something came into you. We'll say it came in from LinkedIn in this example, and this fictitious date that this occurred is going to be on the 3rd of June. Again, some more details here just to kind of remind us later about what we were doing with this as we're doing our job search. And I'm not going to create a follow-up reminder here or anything and create an event. Awesome. Now we're kind of getting somewhere. We have a couple of different events now. We have a couple of different roles with different companies. We can see that we have a job lead now category. So these are all the roles that we have leads for. And then these are all the roles that we've applied to. Your home screen is looking nice and fleshed out now as well. Again, you can expand all these. And the fun is that this data, we talked about the cloud sync before, right? The state of collapse is also part of the cloud sync. So as you expand or collapse these, they keep that memory throughout the application use, as well as if you sync to another device. So really pretty cool. As an example, I'll go to activity and we'll see that that one is still expanded and that one is still collapsed. But back to our homepage, we have our recent activity that we were just looking at. Again, we have access to edit all those. We have our active roles, right? We have our front end role, etc. So let's keep on going. Let's say we're pretty busy. We have received that job lead from that HelioForge Systems, and now we want to go ahead and apply to it. So I'm going to enter in a new role. I'm going to apply to a role this time, and this time we'll take a look at how the search works. Right? Remember, it was Helio something. Oh, there it is. HelioForge Systems. Nice. Since that's the only role that we have for HelioForge Forge systems, it automatically populated it for us. Hey, that's not a lot of friction at all. Awesome. You can go ahead and say that's an outbound. How did I do that? I probably went through LinkedIn again, maybe with this. So I'll go to LinkedIn and I will say applied to, let's see that we will say that this applied, we applied that on the 5th of June of this year. We'll say that we used the easy apply from LinkedIn. We'll go next. Follow-up, typically we'll do a follow-up within the next 5 days. Again, it's just going to kind of confuse the demo because it'll be 5 days from today. So we'll go ahead and just create the event without the follow-up. Great. Now in our pipeline view, we have 2 roles that we've applied to now, right? Awesome. We had a lead from this one role, but now it's elevated to applied, right? Before it was a job lead, now it's applied. Vireo is handling all that for us. Let's say we're still cooking, right? We're moving along in time here. On the 5th, we had a pretty busy day. So I'm going to go to companies and show you another trick here that we're going to apply to a role from the company. We're going to enter another new company. This is Crescent Home Services. Just want to show a little bit of maybe some tech adjacent type roles here. We're going to look for applying to this web content specialist role. Kind of technical, kind of tech adjacent. We'll go next. And we, this time actually, we have a contact. So let's go to our previous step and go back and enter in our contact. Now our contact, Linda Chavez, will be associated with our company, Crescent Home Services, and this role for web content specialist. Now we'll go next and we'll say that we had a referral here as our source. We talked to Linda. We maybe knew Linda from some of our professional network communications, etc. And she's going to go ahead and submit that for us. So let's make sure we note all that in our event so we know everything that happened there. On the 5th of June, referral submitted by friend, application forwarded internally. So lots of ways to get a job and lots of ways for Vireo to help you organize all that. Now we'll create an event again. So now we have applied to our job lead, right? These are all things that occurred within our system of record here. Our pipeline will show that we now have 3 things that we've applied to. Another aspect of this. So let's say we got our Helio or Forge front-end engineer. We can go to our pipeline, and then we have our front-end engineer here. Now we can take a cool shortcut. This menu pops up for the role because we want to go ahead and schedule an interview. We were asked to schedule an interview with HelioFX to kind of show what availability we have. The interview then got scheduled, so awesome. That's a great next step. Again, it's going to pre-populate this whole step, so we skip the whole first step now. It's interview scheduled. The company is entered, the role is entered. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We'll say that happened on the 12th, right? That was an inbound, right? We got notification that it's scheduled. We're going to say that this happened on 06, maybe 12, right? And that came in via an email just to keep us updated. That's the default option there. And we'll go ahead and if there's any other technical notes we want to add or any kind of notes. Technical interview scheduled. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Next. So cool. Again, I would typically have a follow-up there. And these are some of the other smart defaults within Vireo. It wants to help you enter the data, so it has smart default for things of like certain types of events like interview scheduled or applied. Those should have reminders set. We're just not setting those today with the demo, but check it out for yourself. And oh, look, awesome. We had a little bit of a celebration because we reached kind of a milestone with that company. We're getting kind of closer. Now we have the interview scheduled with that. We're just going to keep cruising with this guy. With the Helio systems, we can do a follow-up. We can do another interview scheduled. We can go through the whole thing, but let's just jump all the way ahead and say our interviews have been good. I'm going to check my pipeline again, and oh, look. So now we have this front-end engineer role that we're now interviewing for. Now it's changed state to interviewing. It went from job lead to applied. Now it's in interviewing. Super, super cool. There's 3 events tied to that. You can go into that role and you can see all the events that occurred. And now there's another role here that's set up. So I think we actually did the interviews for this role, and we have an offer accepted. So there's steps in between that. We're kind of skipping through. There's but for the demo, keep things concise. We're going to say that we applied, we interviewed, and maybe multiple interviews, etc. But now we've had offer extended, and we looked at our other offers that we may have had on the table. And yes, we are excited to respond with that. We'll say that happened on June 30th of this year. And we've accepted the offer, and awesome. Are there any details that I want to add? Not really for this point. And so do I need a follow-up? See, I probably don't need a follow-up because I'm ready to get to work. So we'll create the event, and now Vireo really helps you celebrate that you have an offer, you've accepted an offer, and now you may no longer need to use Vireo for a little while, but it tried to do its best to help you with that. You go to your home, you can see all the recent events, you can see all the things that happened, all the active roles. You'll see that you have active roles now. You can also look at all roles. And now that you have an inactive role because you've accepted an offer for that role at Helioforge Systems, your offer was accepted. So now you can use Vireo to go back and basically, follow up with these other folks to say, I'm no longer interested, or you can go into their portal and withdraw your application, etc. So I hope you enjoyed the demo. We'll have some more demos at a later time. We'll talk about some of the technology behind Vireo, and it's open source. So I'm making this demo to kind of bring awareness to it and hope it excites some folks. I could really use some help with some testing. I could use some help with some coding. I've been using a lot of AI agents. I've been using a lot of interesting things to do and a lot of learning for this. So come and join me on this Vireo adventure, and let's continue to keep open source alive and well. Thanks.